Here at Outside, we love the outdoors. Everything about it, the climbing, the rocks, the nature, the walking. But obviously we need to think about what we can do to look after it. So we're solar powered now. We choose brands that are really environmentally friendly and ethical. We like recycled products. But sometimes we need to think bigger than that. It was time for a reaction. So we provide brilliant outdoor gear for whatever you're doing in the outdoors. But what's not been available in the past is sort of somewhere to look after them at the end of their life. So we started a reaction bin. So this is in the shop. It's a nice big wooden box made out of our old rock room counter. The sign is our old cafe blackboard. So we're trying to reuse as much as we can. So when you've decided you don't want whatever item it is, whether it's old rock boots that are worn out, walking boots that are worn out, things you just don't use like old waterproof jackets because they're leaking, or some clothes that are tired, or stuff you just don't use, you can dump it in our reaction bin and you will know it's going to a better place. The gear that ends up in there we split into 3 ways. Firstly, things that end up in there that are no good to anyone anymore, completely shredded, unrepairable, can't be saved, we will recycle them. We'll make sure nothing goes to landfill. We weren't sure how we could find the really ethical way of doing this, and then came out of the woodwork La Sportiva with their brilliant recycling plan.
It's really nice to know that we've got a local spot with the reaction box here outside that I can dump in all my old kit, shoes, clothing, tents. And if the kit's not used, La Sportiva program will recycle the old parts and put them into a new product.
They're doing this across the country and they've been really helpful on finding a good way to get rid of this waste. They've teamed up with a company called SOEX and now they want all your waste. They will pull everything apart, it will be recycled, repurposed, maybe even resold, just the little bits. So you know nothing goes into landfill, it gets used again, and you can feel better about that new pair of shoes. Lots of the gear comes in that's in good condition. So these are maybe things that we not necessarily going to sell in Outside or would have sold in Outside, but they've still got use left and someone should have them. So we take these directly to the homeless charity in Sheffield called the Archer Project. Those guys do amazing work and we've already taken over a van full of stuff of like tents and sleeping bags and warm clothing ready for this winter. And so thank you to all those people who have already donated. You've made someone have a much better winter. So some of the stuff that comes back to us is actually really good, appropriate gear that we could sell in Outside. Now the Archer Project told us don't bring everything to the homeless charity, they just want warm, simple things. Actually what they really need is some money. So we sell some of these goods, we wash them, clean them, if they need repairing we'll do so, and we might resell them in the shop. So what's really cool is you will find bargains in there of really cool retro stuff. Maybe someone's discarded product is your newfound best friend. But what's really good about doing this is we raise some money. We keep things out of landfill, but we donate half of this money to 2 really good causes. Firstly, of course, the Archer Project again. They want this money to provide hot food for the homeless as well. The second charity we donate to is Moors for the Future. They work locally on our moors here, mainly up on Kinder, working with stagnum moss. So that actually helps reduce carbon. It's better for carbon offsetting apparently than trees. So they're doing an amazing job and it's really good to be able to put money back into local environmental and social causes so we can physically see the joy that your donations are bringing to our environment socially and environmentally. So the main reason for reaction is to try and stop and get away from this linear process we work with where it's something's made, sold, used, binned. A lot of these things can be used again and we need to get into a more circular economy. So something you think you're finished with, let's get it to a new home. We're also working really closely with amazing people in Sheffield called Sheffield Clothing Repair. So lots of the stuff we've got has needed a fix, it's got a hole in the bum because that's what climbers do. They are amazing. Becky came to the shop from Sheffield Clothing Repair and did a fix-it day in the shop. So she repaired so many staff's trousers and things like that. My dad's old retro fleece from the 80s, this Patagonia one, which was for most people would have been ready for the bin, is now immaculate with new seams and taping and it looks amazing. So anything you think ready to go in the bin, get it to us, let's find a better home for it. Even if the materials just get used for Becky to patch up new knees or something like that, then it's used, isn't it? It's keeping it out of landfill. So we've been talking about doing this for a while and had this idea for quite a long time, but we needed some help. So obviously La Sportiva came to the rescue with a recycling scheme. And it's really nice to know these charities in Sheffield and Moors for the Future as well are there to help us and donate to the right causes. But there's a bigger scale going on here as well. You should really look up the company called Reaction because that wasn't our name. This is actually arrived from a company in the Alps, which are doing amazing things globally as well. So do keep track of that. So while making this video, we're about 5 or 6 weeks into the Reaction project, and already we've got thousands of pounds to donate to these good causes. So thank you all so much for already making these great donations, and please keep them coming. Even something you buy soon, keep hold of it if you get bored of it and put it back in the Reaction bin. And if you do have to buy something new, really think about who you're getting it from. Is it a nice local family business? Is it an ethical company? Is it recycled products? Will it last a long time? How can you treat it and look after it? Can you resole your rock shoes and use them again? Look into all these things. Let's keep things out of the bin. And if you think they need to go in the bin, put them in our bin and we'll make sure it goes to a better place.